Okay, guys, so you've seen me tease this one here or there. I've talked in videos before about how I had four belts on the way. One was from a maker. Two were plates that had been sent off. They were ordered brand new plates that were sent off to Antonio Mendoza to go get releathered, or not get releathered, but get put on leather. This one was the releather. This is the one that had a stock strap. It was a Figs Inc. Obviously AWA heavyweight, and I had shipped it off back in February, mid-February, to get leather put on it, or to get it put on leather, whatever, however you want to say it. So, kind of a break from the norm with my regular videos, where usually I film this little intro for about, I don't know, 40, 50 seconds and jump straight to an unboxing. What we're going to do is I had filmed a little clip before I'd sent these plates off when they were still on the stock strap. So if you guys haven't seen the full review video, and this is your first time seeing a video from me or whatever, this is how it looked before I sent the plates off. And then we're going to jump from that into the unboxing of how I received this belt with the new leather. And then after that, we're going to jump into my review and my thoughts on this releather. So you're still with me. We're jumping into kind of the before, and then the unboxing, and then the after. So here we go. Okay, so this is going to be part one of this belt's, I guess, journey, getting refurbished. So what this is my Figures Inc. AWA heavyweight. I bought used summer of 23, and it's a gorgeous belt, but it could use a new strap. You see that? So, and over here too, you can tell the strap has seen better days. Like I said, this thing was probably made, I think the patch on the back says 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yeah, 2006. That's if it's, because one thing I noticed with WWE shop replicas now, they never change the year on the patch. You can buy a brand new belt today, and if it debuted in 2021, it'll still say 2021 on the patch. So that's not totally indicative, but this is a stock strap. It is on its way, once I get it boxed up over there, it is on its way to Canada for some new leather. New leather guy I've been wanting to use for a while, just haven't pulled the trigger on it. But I'm filming this in February. In late June, Jerry Lawler, fingers crossed for his health, that, you know, we know he's had cardiac arrest and a stroke. Jerry Lawler is set to come in to Kansas City for a convention, an anime convention, and I'm going to have him sign it. Don't want him to sign it on the stock strap. I'd rather have it on real leather. So this thing is going north of the border to Colin Cook of Canuck Belts. He's going to re-leather this for me, put it on a brand new leather strap. And that's what part two of this video is going to be. I'm going to unscrew the plates. I'm going to wrap them up in bubble paper and get it shipped to Canada. He says 6-week turnaround time, roughly. And so this is February, is this the 11th or 12th here? If my watch would show, I tell you. It's the 11th. Today's February 11th. So we'll see. That would put it right around the end of March. Maybe first week of April. So anyway, this has been part one. Part two is coming at you, so don't blink. Well, ain't this a pretty sight? So, as you can tell, I've already got it back. This is now June instead of when I thought I'd get it back about 2 months ago. But I guess patience pays off, and I do have the belt. So let's get to the unboxing. Okay, let's get into this unboxing. This actually arrived yesterday, June 20th, in the heat of the day, in the middle of the afternoon, because the post office sucks. This was supposed to be here Tuesday the 17th. My days off are in the middle of the week. Would have been nice, but nope. So this thing sat out in the heat for about an hour. I realized it was delivered and I could get my boss to let me leave work so I can go get it off the doorstep and put it inside. It sat outside for about an hour. So I don't know. I've heard horror stories about belts being out in the heat, the dye and the leather paint and the backing coming apart and stuff. So I don't know how this is going to look. When we open this up, I'm fingers crossed everything looks great, because next Saturday, I will be getting it signed by Jerry Lawler. So, and plus, we get to see how well Colin packages a belt. Everything looks good so far. Throw all this stuff back in. I didn't expect it to come out of there that easy. Okay. Very nice job so far. Let's take a look at the back real quick. I'll get my thoughts. Obviously, my extended thoughts on the review, but I'm just going to show you the back. He did package it very well, as you guys saw. Everything feels good backing-wise. There's a little bit of something there. I don't know what that's about, but ain't the end of the world. It could be from... I don't know. I don't know what that could be. So it could be from the plates imprinting on the back of the leather, but it didn't appear that that was going to, like, that would have been an issue. So, anyway, that is the unboxing portion. Let's go back to the review. And now, finally, we get to the review. So, like I said, USPS, United States Postal Service, can go piss up a rope for the way that they were extremely tardy in delivering this. In case anybody knows anybody that works for the Postal Service, relay that message, please. So this is a belt that was re-leathered by Canuck Belts, and you can find them on Facebook under that name. And you can also find Colin Cook, which is the guy that runs Canuck Belts. He's your leather guy. You also find him on his YouTube channel under the same name, Canuck Belts. And so I reached out to Colin back in February because of a prior re-leather of this exact belt, this Figures Inc. AWA re-leather. I reached out to him because I liked the job he had done. I wanted to get this Figures Inc. belt on real leather for signing with Jerry Lawler. And obviously, I knew like Mendoza was backed up. Usually he's the first guy I hit up. I hadn't really worked with too many other leather guys. I had Paul Martin's leather on my Fandu Lux. I've got some belts downstairs that have other people's leather, whether that's Leather Rebels, whether that's Mark Maggard, whether that's Adam Kelly. I have some re-leathered belts. I just didn't do the ordering process of dealing with the leather guys, so I can't speak on their customer service. I can just speak on how good a quality their strap is. So I reached out to Colin in February, and I said, what's your turnaround time and what's your price? He quoted me $275 plus return shipping. So by the time everything was said and done, it cost me $314 US. He said my turnaround time is 6 weeks. And when I shipped the plates to him, they arrived February 18th. I shipped them out on the 11th, so it took a week. When I got the plates to him, he let me know that there were 2 orders ahead of me. So obviously it's going to drag things out. And from mid-February when he got them until about mid-June when I really needed them is 4 months. So 16 weeks. I figure cool. I'm not in a big hurry to get it back. It doesn't need to be a rush job. And so we had, pretty good rapport. And he was like, hey man, these are some of the nicest Figures Inc. plates I've ever seen. Maybe the nicest. And, I'd agree. I think my Figures Inc. Dome Globe that's downstairs, that's on Mark Maggard's leather. I think it's just a little bit better than these plates. We had a little bit of a communication mishap where I didn't hear from him until like beginning of May, something like that. I'll put the date up that I messaged him. And I said, hey man, I said, we're about five weeks out from this Kansas City Fan Fest. You know, how's it looking? It was mid-May because the Fan Fest is late June, the one in Kansas City. I said, you know, how are we looking? How's and he made any progress on the strap? And he goes, man, I'm so sorry. He said, I never have fallen behind on leather orders before, but I've had some things going on, and I have not been able to do the work on your strap. He said, I can commit to you having it back a week prior to when you actually need it. I said, okay. So I have it in my hand within 4 weeks. Okay. And then the following week, I hit him up again and said, hey man, so you know we're 4 weeks out from this Fan Fest. You know, got any updates? And he started sending me pictures. And I'm going to put some of those up on the screen right now of the leather being traced out. He did not want the stock strap. He told me that the stock strap would not be of any help to him because the shape of the Figures Inc. strap was not as accurate as what it should be. And so he can't just, you know, use that as like a template and trace around it to make his strap. So he had to sort of draw it himself. And so he sent me photos of the drawings on the leather, where the plates would be and all that. So I started getting more and more, like I said, more and more photos, more progress photos. So I bought this belt originally back in 2023 for $600. So now you figure the total price, I got $914 in this. Now we get into the actual specs, the actual, I guess, you know, my thoughts on this actual belt. So you saw in the unboxing my initial thoughts. I'm out of a scale of 10. How do I feel about this strap? Probably 8.5, 9, somewhere in there. Very, very good. Unless you're a detail guy like me that has a YouTube channel, you may not notice some of this stuff. But, you know, such is life. I just have that sort of ability and or affliction or whatever where I notice small things. So, this is a review. You know what we do on review nights? We have a drink. And I'm feeling a little blue today. We are still filming on the 4th of July. But not blue as in sad. I mean, I'm feeling a little blue as in Johnny Walker blue. So, if you ever get one of these, this came in a little box set of 4. I got like the 18-year, the Gold Reserve, the red, which nobody likes the red, and the blue, Johnny Walker blue. So, if you ever get one of these, I got this 2 years ago for like $80. And I love it. And so, great. The blue's my favorite, and a little hack. If you're going to buy the full-size bottle, the full 5th, go get it at Costco. It's about $70 cheaper than what you paid at a liquor store. So, but it is very good scotch. It's one of the few scotches I actually like. Okay, so the strap itself. I do like the leather cut. You know, being that it was kind of free-handed. I do like the job he did on the bottom. I do like the peak at the top, and the way that, you know, sometimes the leather appears to have the top of the plate peek over. Sometimes it's encompassed totally in the strap. It just depends, I guess, on, you know, where the strap was in its life. Jerry Lawler still has the original in his house in Memphis. He kept it after Super Clash 3 over a payoff dispute with Vern Gagne. So, let me get rid of this bottle of scotch. Move my glass over. And we'll get into the specs on this AWA Releather. So, 2x8 on your male snaps. 2x5 on your female snaps. One thing Colin asked me, he said, do you want gold or do you want silver snaps, nickel snaps for this? And I said, well, there's a Dave Milliken replica out there that I have pictures of where the female snaps are nickel, but the male snaps appear to be dual plated. They look to be a combination of both nickel and gold, and I don't understand why. So just do nickel. Now the tooling. When he did his previous Figures Inc. AWA Releather, the one that made me want to use him for this one, the tooling varies. It's different from how it is on mine. I sent him some screenshots that I will put up on the screen now of how I wanted this one to look, and he replicated it very, very well. It's weird how Reggie Parks did this originally, where it's got the standard snap box, but he's got these two little triangles. Instead of just having this all the way around and having everything tooled, he did these two little triangles, these two little points, and kind of not totally separates the AWA letters, but definitely gives it a little bit of a border somewhat. It kind of distinguishes it from the rest of the snap box, and I like that. And then you have the old school beveled line, similar to what you would have on the red logo Intercontinental. And then you have the twisted bars. And Colin down here replicated the same thing with the two triangles that one sticks up, one sticks down, obviously in the snap box. And over here we do have the Canuck belts leather stamp. So I think it's a very, very nice strap. As far as flexibility goes, it's exactly what you would want. Nice and flexible. This is very, very nice, I feel like. Let's do the backing. Now the backing is very nice, just black leather backing. There's Lawler's signature, obviously, on the back. I do think Lawler, because obviously he's an illustrator, right? He can draw. He has such good artwork. His penmanship, his signature is very, very nice. And the same sort of backing continues over here. I'm totally satisfied with this. And so, I actually have a photo of Jerry with the belt at the convention. The one, I guess, criticism or whatever that I would have is just the way that he does his edges. You see there's like a glossy look around the entire perimeter of the strap. There's just this little... I don't know if that's the adhesive for the backing or if he glues his edges. I'm not sure, how this... how he does it, but I've never seen that on a strap before. Not a criticism necessarily, but just different. I kind of feel like, well, now it guarantees my backing won't come off, so maybe it's a good thing. Just never seen that before. The tooling. I've only found 2 tooling flaws in this whole belt. One is right here. One is right here by my thumb, where one of the stamps just got out of the border. And the other one is even smaller than that. He left a little bare spot at the bottom where it's not tooled at all. And the rest of it completely is. Not the end of the world, but like I said, I'm a detail guy and I have a channel. So I feel like if I didn't say something and someone pointed it out, they'd feel like I missed something. And then the one little critique that I have about the plates that the way he did my plates is... there's a gap here in between my main plate and my sidebars. And it's like that on both sides. He had sent me photos of where he had traced, but he didn't send me any photos of it mocked up. How do I want to put this? Mocked up with the plates on the leather before he dyed it and put backing on it and everything where you could maybe adjust. He just sent me photos with it traced out and I didn't notice it. That's kind of on me. But I wish he had gotten these bars just a little bit closer, and showing the previous AWA Releather he had done on a Figures Inc. belt, he did get that one much closer. So sort of put that in your back pocket, Colin, if you watch this, to just kind of get those bars closer. Because when I first saw this belt, I thought the bars were attached to the main plate. I had no clue until I unscrewed the plates that they were actually separate pieces. And it reminds me, the way it looks now, of that Winged Eagle that Shop used to have with the detached sidebars. That's just the vibe it's giving me. So that's just one little constructive criticism. If I were you, Colin, next time just move these bars in a little bit, make it look like it's all one piece. But do I have any other criticisms about his work? No. Just the 2 little tooling things and the little sidebars having a gap. But other than that, I'm totally happy with this. I think it's a great quality strap. Jerry Lawler was actually blown away when he saw it because his handler at his booth took it from me and gave it to him face down. So Jerry didn't know what he was signing because he didn't see me walk up to his booth because he was having a conversation with Santino Marella. So when Jerry has it in front of him. And he's got his pen. He goes, hang on, what is this? And he lifts it up and he sees the main plate and his eyes get big. He goes, whoa. He goes, where'd you get this? And I told him I bought it off Facebook a couple of years ago and I just got it back from Canada. The guy up in Canada does leather. He goes, this is really nice. So Jerry was impressed. Like I said, if you want to find Canuck belts, go to his Facebook page, go to their YouTube channel. I will also put his email address on the screen for you right now that he has supplied in his description on his videos and also in replying to people in his comments section in case they didn't have a Facebook or whatever and they were wanting to reach out about some leather work. That he publicly shares it, so I'm going to put it here. You can reach him here at his email about inquiries about doing releathers. So I think next week I am going to upload my haul. I hate using that because I feel like one of those stupid influencers, but my haul of what I got signed at the Comic-Con, or Animeverse, Animeverse, that signed about half a dozen wrestlers or more here in Kansas City. So I will see you on that video very shortly.